I was being interviewed for a role that hadn't even gone live yet. It wasn't posted, and I got it. Hey, it's Savvy Daphne. Today, we're at my parents' house. I'll be sharing with you 2 networking strategies I use that actually got me interviews and referrals. These strategies you might have heard versions of, but I want to share with you the exact way that I did it and give you all the messaging templates that I used. Before we get into the strategies, I just want to acknowledge if you're feeling frustrated with the job market, you have every right to. The job market is a hard place right now. It's really hard to get noticed if you don't know anyone within the company. It's actually really hard to even get eyes on your resume if you're just cold applying to jobs. And that's why it's so important to network, because it really is about who you know these days. But why is it about who you know these days? I have some stats to share with you. Let me just pull up my notes here. Okay, get this. As of March 2025, the US unemployment rate stands at 4.2%. How many people is that? Approximately 7.1 million individuals unemployed. And if you're one of those, I'm glad you're here. So we don't want you to stay in that place very long. Here's another one. Studies have shown that referred candidates have a 28.5% success rate in being hired compared to a 2.7% success rate for those who apply without a referral. Additionally, employer referrals account for 30 to 50% of total hires, despite representing only 7% of total job applicants. Electro IQ has a thorough article where they share some 2024 stats. Employer referral statistics show around 17% of all hires in 2024 were made through employer referrals, highlighting its popularity as a recruitment channel. By the end of the year, almost 60% of companies report plans to enhance their employee referral programs due to the high quality of hires. What do these mean, Daphne? Why are you sharing these stats? We established the first point already. There's a lot of competition for jobs because the unemployment rate is at 4.2%. The stats about referrals point to my second point to point out. It is so important to build your network because referrals help. They help get human eyes on your application. If you're just cold applying, majority of the time, no one's actually looking at that resume that you worked so hard to tailor and that cover letter that you worked so hard to write to try and get in their favor. Referrals are everything these days. I got a handful of referrals and interviews through these strategies I'm going to share with you. Let's get into it. But before we get into it, okay, you do need to have some foundation of network connections in your LinkedIn. You want to first focus on building that. Look at your Instagram, Facebook contacts, yearbooks from elementary school, high school, college, add every single person onto LinkedIn. Outside of that, think about old coworkers. If you were in a fraternity or sorority, some way you can connect with people, even if you didn't know them personally, you can still reach out to them. When you send a connection request, make sure you add a note. You can do something like this. If you don't know them, but you have a connection point, you can say something like this. Another way to build your network is through informational interviews. If you find someone working at a company or that has a role that you want to look more into, that's a perfect doorway to add them as a connection and say something like, so there you go. Now you've built your network. You're ready to start networking to hopefully get some referrals and just get human eyes onto your resume. All right, let's get into the strategies. The first strategy does require you to reach out to people on LinkedIn, your network. And maybe that's like an obvious one, but there's a specific process that I use. It is good to have your profile set to private mode. This means when you go to certain profiles to stack your network, they're not going to see that you viewed their page. All they're going to see is anonymous LinkedIn member viewed your profile. They'll never know it was you. To do that, go to the top right section of your LinkedIn homepage, click the drop-down menu below your picture, click settings and privacy, click visibility, and then profile viewing options, and then click private mode. There, you're set, you're anonymous. Time to start stalking people. Now what you want to do is go to your connections page. When I did this, I had about 1,000 connections, so I had a lot to go through. This process, it's going to sound tedious, but it is worth it. Sort your connections in alphabetical order. Do it by first name. That way, you know exactly where you are on your list if it takes you multiple days. It took me about a week to get through everybody. And at the time, I didn't have another job. I was jobless, so my only job was job hunting, so I just had nothing else to do. I sat on LinkedIn all day and literally went one by one through my network. Start at the top on the profile. Go to their company. Click on their company. Go to the company's website. website, go to their careers page, look at their job postings, see if any of them look interesting to you. If they do, you go back to LinkedIn, you send a message to that connection that works at that company that has a job posting that you are interested in, and you say something like, and then that's it. You don't do anything. You hope that they reply. Now you can wait 1 or 2 days. And if they don't reply, you can send a follow-up. And then after that one follow-up, I usually don't do it again. I don't want to be like overly bearing, but sometimes people are just busy and forget to reply. So follow-up sometimes is a good thing. A lot of companies do value referral programs. People will more than often say, what's your email? I'll send you a referral link. They would go to the job posting and submit a referral for that job posting. And I would usually get an email saying, so-and-so referred you for this job. Through that, I would tailor my resume, my cover letter, and then send my application to the company. A lot of the times because they had that referral. And I've even had someone take the extra step and message a hiring manager saying this person is going to be applying to this role. And I did get an interview for that role. Unfortunately, it didn't match what I was looking for, so I didn't move forward with it. Now, if that's not the case, if maybe you went to the company's profile and the company doesn't have any job listings that you're interested in, but it is a company you find very intriguing, you like what they do, their mission, values, whatever, and you're like, I would like to work for this company. This is a great company. Keep track of that. Take that company link, put it in however you organize notes under that link, put the person's name that you know there with maybe a hyperlink to their LinkedIn profile. When I was doing this, I did do everything in Notion. I do have a job hunting template. I'll link it below. It's just a place to literally keep names, companies you want to keep an eye on, a place to organize all your interview notes, keep track of jobs that you have interviews for, anything and everything like that. I also have all my messaging templates in there, so you can use them too if you would like. Point being, you want to track the companies that you are interested in, even if they don't have job postings right now. Then what you do is you check them every week. Yes, every week, because time is of the essence. If a job is posted and you look at it the very next day and you reach out to your connection and they reply to you right away and give you a referral. If you have all the qualifications, you are very likely to get an interview. You are probably one of the first to get in there. And not only that, but you have a referral. So human eyes will get onto your resume. And yeah, what if you go to their profile and you're not interested in the company and they don't have any roles open? In the famous words of Ariana Grande, thank you, next. That was really stupid. Now, if you're going down the list and you have a recruiter that you're connected to, send them a message. You don't even have to go to their company because they're a recruiter. Send them a message. You can send them something like this. Do that for every single connection you have. Doesn't matter if you haven't talked to them in years. Doesn't matter if you don't even remember who they are. Message them. You're connected. Just go through your own network. I just sat down and just was on LinkedIn all day, messaging, looking through company pages. I was able to collect a list of maybe 30 companies I was interested in. I would go check their job boards and I had connections to those companies. I got interviews at some of these companies. I got referrals to some of these companies. It's not about the people who don't reply. It's about the people that do. It can feel tedious, but you just gotta do it. That's what networking is, and that's what LinkedIn is for. This next strategy is not on LinkedIn per se. It's more of a mindset, but still sort of a strategy. It's basically to go into any interview or screening with the intention that the person interviewing you or screening you is going to become part of your network, whether you move forward with the job or not. Go into any interview or screening with the intention to, one, connect with whoever is interviewing you, and two, make them a part of your network. It's not just to learn about this job. It's not just to impress them. It's literally to add them to your network. Sometimes that can actually help when you get into an interview, and it can calm some of the nerves. If you're like, I just want to connect with this person. I just want to see what they're about. I want to see what this role is about. And then ask them if they'd be willing to be a part of my network. That can take the pressure off sometimes. Maybe it seems simple and straightforward, but it is effective when you really do put it into practice, because later down the road, they might have a perfect job for you. And this happened to me. And I'm not saying to fake it on the interview. And I'll be like, hi, oh my gosh, how are you? Oh my gosh, you have kids. That's so cool. Me too. I have a dog. Don't be fake. I'm just saying genuinely be curious about this person. A lot of the time, people can pick up on that. If they feel safe around you, if they feel comfortable around you, they're more willing to be connected to you. Now, I realize that can be sort of a soft skill. It does take emotional intelligence. It takes empathy. That is my MO in everything. It really isn't about what can I get from this person? It's I want to connect with you. I want to learn about you. I recognize you're a human and you're living your own life right now. That's so cool. That sort of approach can disarm people. They can forget that they're in an interview and it just feels like you're talking to a friend. When you ask at the end of the interview, hey, I really enjoyed this conversation. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Or if you don't have LinkedIn, I'd love to get your email address and stay connected that way. They're going to say, yeah. If you don't feel comfortable asking on the call, you can totally just email them after and ask them. I have 2 stories for you where this helped me get jobs. There was a time where I was looking for a job. I was thinking to myself, who could I reach out to? And then I remembered, oh my gosh, Gina was someone that interviewed me for a role for a woman named Amy Porterfield, who is a great businesswoman. I recommend checking her stuff out. I think the role was for a marketing role on her team. Amy Porterfield was using a third-party HR consultant to hire and screen people for her. This HR consultant screened me. I went into the interview prepared. I did my research. If you don't know how to prepare for interviews or you want a guide, I do have resources below. I have some free pages to get you started on how to research a company and an interview preparation checklist. I do have a full workbook too that has a complete guide and even like how to use AI to prepare and just give you that edge, all linked below. Anyways, that's aside the fact. Went into the interview. I was comfortable. I was confident. I also had the mindset of this is a person. We're all people. I want to add her to my network. I had the approach that I talked about. I think I ended up sharing my story and I asked her about her story and how she was liking her role in general. And we connected. We had good rapport. I think towards the end of the interview, I asked if I could add her to my LinkedIn network and she said, yeah. Then a year later, I found myself again looking for a job. I reached out to her on LinkedIn. I said this. And then she said this. Because of that, one, I tapped into the hidden job market. If you don't know what that is, I'll make a video about it down the road. It's basically just jobs that aren't public yet. She said, I have someone hiring an executive assistant, part-time role. Sounds like it's what you're looking for. She hasn't even posted the role yet. I gave her my resume. She forwarded it to that CEO. The CEO looked at it, liked it. She interviewed me. I was being interviewed for a role that hadn't even gone live yet. It wasn't posted and I got it. I worked for her for a year and a half and it was great. I never would have gotten that role if it wasn't for Gina. Another story. I went into another interview with a recruiter who I hadn't known before. We started talking. She was really nice. I think we connected on some things. She starts explaining to me the role and asks to hear what I think. I was honest with her and I said, actually, this role doesn't seem like something that is a good fit for me. I shared, I'm looking for a role that's more this, this, and this. She was like, oh, okay. I totally understand. She paused. She's like, wait, we just got a new client who just opened a role for literally the things you just listed. She was like, do you want to hear about it? I was like, yeah, tell me. She told me about the CEO, the role, what she was expecting. And she was like, is that something you'd be interested in? I was like, actually, yes. That's yes. She was like, okay, you know what? Let's turn this interview into an interview for that role. And I was like, okay. Let's do it. She interviews me for that role. She said, okay, I just have to go to my boss and let her know this is what happened. Show her my notes from the interview, show her your resume and get her approval. Her boss looks at it, shows it to their client who's hiring for that role. She liked it and wanted an interview with me. She took an interview with me and I got it. It was another part-time virtual assistant role. It was when I was unemployed for 6 months. I was just looking for something to make ends meet and was able to get this part-time role, which is super flexible. It was exactly what I needed. Again, if I hadn't have gone into that interview with the recruiter with connection in mind, after I said I wasn't interested in the role, she could have just said, okay, I'll let you know if anything else comes up. And maybe she would have let me know, maybe not. She could have ended the call right there, but she didn't. I really do think it's because when I go into interviews and screenings, I don't look at it really as an interview. I look at it as an opportunity to connect, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to practice curiosity. And a lot of the times when that comes from a genuine place, the person person interviewing you can pick up on that, and they like that. I know that was a lot. Those were the two strategies that I used that got me referrals, interviews, and jobs. Beyond any digital platform, there are lots of other ways to network. I highly recommend going into your local community, looking for professional groups, and just getting out there, having that same mindset of I'm here to grow my network, I'm here to connect and grow your network that way. I have to tell you about the next video I'm going to make. The story that I last told you about that recruiter. I actually never applied to that job. Yeah. What do you mean? I had a tool do it for me. It applied to 2,000 jobs for me, and I got a handful of interviews from it. And then in the interviews, they would say, so what made you apply to this job? And I'd have to be like, oh, your company looked really interesting, and I just couldn't help myself. When actually it was a tool that applied. Is that dishonest? But it was efficient. When I took these interviews, I did research the company and make sure it was something I was interested in. It wasn't completely dishonest. The next video will be me sharing the tool that I used, giving a tutorial, and why I recommend it. Stay tuned for that. All right, we covered a lot of ground today. I hope that was helpful. Please share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know what you think. I am in my job hunting series. If you don't want to miss out on anything, you can hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that I am being helpful. I'm literally sharing everything that brought me success so that you too can have success. And that's why I'm doing this. All right, until next week.